Okay, this is part 2. So we are going to be working on the hair here. So if you want to go back and kind of see how I selected the subject from over here and brought her into the bluebonnet background, you'll need to go to part 1. This is part 2 where we are just going to be focusing on the hair up here. So it is going from a white background to the black here. So it's not going to be the easiest. So it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to kind of show you guys what I would do and how to get it kind of blended in there. So what you do is you are going to select your black layer here. You're going to get your lasso tool and you are going to just select her hair that you're wanting to do. So right there, that's kind of the area I want to do. Once it's selected, you are going to make sure your black foreground is set right here. So black, and I'm clicked on the black, and you're going to hit Alt Backspace. It's going to delete your hair. Don't freak out. Your hair is deleted, but I'm going to show you why we're doing that. You're going to deselect it. So I use Control D, and that will deselect the hair. So now your hair is deleted off of the body. That's what you just did basically. Now we want to duplicate this layer so we can make a hair layer. So you're going to drag it down to this little folded paper down here. There you go. You have a duplicated layer, but we do not need this layer mask. So yes, my thing just went back to the full person. Don't freak out. It's supposed to do this, okay? Now let's rename layer 1 to body and layer 2 to hair. Okay, clicked on hair. We are going to go into select and mask, just like we did earlier. Now on part 1, I was on the red overlay. Now I'm on the onion skin. So the onion skin here, let me reset all of these back to standard. The onion skin shows you your subject and your background, and the middle is kind of showing you how to merge it. So this is all the stuff that I'm wanting to help Photoshop help me select. So I need to select my hair. You can either use the quick selection tool or you can use the lasso tool, whatever you want to use to select the hair. So select my hair. Now what I'm going to do is the refine edge tool over here to the left. It's that second button. Now some people use the radius tool and the smart radius tool over here, and that's basically Photoshop choosing where your edge is. So, if you move that, then see how the hair comes out. That's it choosing it for me. I like to use these buttons down here and kind of the refine edge tool over here to do it myself. You can try that, and if it works for you, awesome. But I figure it never works for me. So what I'm going to do is just kind of paint over it, and I don't like that, so let me get a smaller brush. Kind of just painting over it and telling Photoshop that this is my edge. So you can kind of drag it out right here to the right, and you can see what is selected. So obviously we don't like that very much. Okay, that's a little better. So I know what you're thinking. It's altering the pixels there, which on a lot of backgrounds, like if she was up a little higher and her hair was in the sky, that wouldn't matter at all. It does affect here because this is green and it was on a white background. So kind of making that difference there. What we can do is kind of move some of these over here. Now smooth, I don't smooth hair because you don't want to smooth that very much because it's going to make it kind of blurry. So I'm not going to do that one. Feather will kind of blur it a little bit. You don't really want that one much. Contrast, remember, it makes your pixels darker. So see how it's making the pixels darker? We'll do it out a little bit. It'll kind of help with that whiteness. Shift edge, remember if you go to the left, it selects less of your subject. If you go to the right, it'll select more. Again, if I was on a white background, that would be awesome, but she's not. So there's that. I'm going to come back in here and select by doing shift with the lasso tool, and I want to select some more of this hair, and I'm going to refine it again. So, if you mess up, don't be afraid to go back in there and kind of redo it, because you want it to be believable. Now, I still have it to where the layer mask, it's going to go on its own layer mask here. So if you hit OK, you can see now that the hair is on a different level or different layer than the body. So you can work separately. Now, the reason why I didn't do them together is because, let me go back into here, but these selections here are different for hair versus body. So if you try to do them all on one layer, it's not going to work right, because I obviously need less work here on the arms and the dress than I do the hair. So you can always go back in there and fix it by just double tapping here on your layer. So if you want to go back in and play a little more, you can go in there like that. I'm going to leave her hair where it is. I would honestly now just get a black paintbrush over here and, go around. I'm going to have to fix that. Go around her face and hair, and I would do some cloning and do some of the paintbrush. And once you go in there and start editing, it'll help with the minor details. But what I want is, these strays kind of flowing in the wind, because that's what's going to kind of give you that that realistic look, if that makes sense. You can switch back and forth again from your black and white paintbrush, kind of bringing, these flowers and stuff back in. I always have the worst luck with these flowers on a white background, but I'm going to add a sky in here too, so I don't have to be super picky. But yeah, you can kind of switch back and forth, get in there and get it off. I'll get it a little bit so you guys can see how, if you weren't going to add a sky, how you would have to be. I'm not going to get it perfect because that will take entirely too long, but you guys can kind of see there that she's now brought into there. So I haven't done any editing on skin or done any curves layers or brightness layers. I literally just used refine edge and selecting your subject by bringing her in here. So that is a little bit of the tips and tricks that I use to get your subject brought in here. Let me know what you guys think.